Hello everybody and welcome to another video where today I'm going to be reacting to week 11 of the NFL season. I am back on track and going to give a quick breakdown of all the games that happened and my thoughts on them. First game I want to talk about is the Thursday night matchup between the New England Patriots and the Atlanta Falcons. This isn't their first game since Super Bowl 51. I believe it is their second or third. And this game was a blowout for the Patriots as they were able to win 25-0 in Atlanta. The Falcons were bad. Matt Ryan, the other two quarterbacks, I can't even remember them, they're that bad. All combined for 4 interceptions. And Mac Jones was pretty good, having a game manager role, throwing for a touchdown and interception. And all around, this Patriots team was really good. Their defense was really good this game. They were able to win against this Falcons team. They keep moving, they keep winning. They're playing really good football right now. They've kept winning, they've been good teams, and they're playing really well against bad ones. So far people are giving a lot of praise to them, and I think they're deserving it. And this is a great game to watch if you're a Patriots fan, and let's see if they can keep winning. Second game I want to talk about is the 1 p.m. game. The first game of the Sunday slate was a pretty boring one between the Ravens and the Bears. The Ravens didn't have Lamar Jackson this game, and the Bears lost Justin Fields in the middle of this game, resulting in Andy Dalton coming in. This game was terrible. It was not fun to watch. Both teams are terrible. Tyler Huntley made his first start for the Ravens, and he played not that bad, having a pretty decent game. For the Bears, Justin Fields, as I said, got injured, and Andy Dalton threw a touchdown on the first play. His first play, scored a touchdown. Anyways, this game came down to the wire actually, with the Bears scoring a late game touchdown late in the fourth quarter. The Ravens then calmly drove down the field and scored a touchdown of their own in the final 20 seconds. They were able to win and bounce back from that loss against Miami, although it's a little nerve-wracking to see them lose to the Dolphins and then play that sort of style of football, even though they don't have Lamar Jackson. But they played that style of football again this week, and they weren't playing that good. For the Bears, they just keep sucking. They have the same record as the Seahawks. It's going to be a spoiler for what happened this week. But yeah, they're not playing good, and the Bears, they keep losing. It's unfortunate, but it's just bad football. Hopefully they can bounce back, eventually, maybe later this season. But they need to do something quick to sort of take control of the season again. Packers and Vikings. The Packers lose to the Vikings, and the Vikings win on a game-winning field goal. I know, shocking. They won on a game-winning field goal in the final 3 seconds, and the Packers almost came back and won the game. The Vikings came out to an early lead and eventually had that lead going into the third quarter, and in the middle of the third quarter, then the Packers started coming back. They started scoring touchdowns, and they were able to tie the game back up at 31-31 with a minute to go. This actually happened because the Vikings had a 7-point lead in the fourth quarter, and then the Packers drove down the field on a one-play 75-yard touchdown to tie the game back up. Then the Vikings methodically drove down the field and scored in a game-winning field goal. Aaron Rodgers was great this game. Kirk Cousins was pretty good, and it solidifies the fact that every Vikings team or every Kirk Cousins team needs to stay around 500, because that is just how the NFL works, and every Kirk Cousins team needs to be just below, just above, or at 500 at any point in the season. Colts and Bills. Man, this game was bad for the Bills. The Bills got killed at home by the Colts, and Jonathan Taylor was insane, having 5 total touchdowns, 1 receiving, and 4 rushing. This game was great for Colts. They were able to get above 500 at 6-5, and they're playing really good football right now. So far, Carson Wentz doesn't need to do that much. As long as Jonathan Taylor gets going, they're going to win each game, and it showed again this week. It was a great game, and for the Bills, I don't know. They can bounce back from this. They're a great team. They got a lot of talent, but they need to get back quick. Lions and Browns. Lions sucked this game. Browns are able to easily win. Actually, that is not true. The Browns almost lost to the Lions. They did win by a few points, obviously. They did win by I'm not even remember the score. I think it was either 3 points, like 13-10, or maybe it was like 13-3. I'm not sure. I don't remember. The game was so boring. But they did win, and the Lions fall to 0-9-1. This was not a good game to watch. Both teams were bad, and it was really scary to see a Browns team that was so good a few weeks ago to be this bad now. It's weird. It's crazy, but hopefully they can bounce back once they get Nick Chubb again. Washington versus the Panthers. Cam Newton's returned to Carolina for the first time in over 2 years, and this game was very fun to watch. I got the benefit of watching it almost the entire game, and Taylor Heineke had a great game. He was really well rounded. He's able to win and get another win for this Washington team, and they really needed it bad. They've won 2 straight now, and they've been really, really good. There's not really that much else to say. Cam Newton was pretty good for them, having 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown, so it wasn't a bad starting debut for him back in Carolina. But it was a great game to watch, and both teams are seeming like they've got some good stuff going, and hopefully Cam Newton can, keep this going, and maybe Washington as well. They get their win streak going, and two of these teams could maybe sneak into the playoffs. Texans and Titans. Of course the Titans lose. They beat the Rams, and they beat the Bills this year, and they beat so many other teams. They were great, and then they lose to the Texans in their division. I know it's a divisional rival, and because you're a divisional rival, they play harder. But seriously, this is a team you're supposed to beat. I know you don't have Derrick Henry, but you beat the Rams without Derrick Henry as well. And it's weird. It was really weird to watch this game because they didn't score any points till like late in the third quarter. And it is what it is. It's very unfortunate, but you never know. They're probably going to bounce back from this because this is demoralizing as a team, and they're definitely going to bounce back, but they need to do that quick. Next week, they need to win. 49ers and Jaguars. 49ers easily beat the Jaguars. It's the Jaguars. Even us, the Seahawks, who are currently 3-7, beat the Jaguars. But the 49ers are able to win. They're back at 500 at 5-5 once again. And this was just an easy game for them. Jimmy Garoppolo was great. Their running game was great. Deebo Samuel was great. It was just an all-around amazing game for them, and they were able to easily win. Dolphins and Jets, a boring game. I'm going to talk about it really quickly. Dolphins won the game. Jets lost. Tua was pretty good, and the Jets were not. And that's all it is. The Dolphins are now 4-7, if I'm not mistaken, and the Jets are 2-8. So yeah, think about that. Saints and Eagles. The Saints lost to the Eagles in Philadelphia this game. The Eagles played really good football. They had 3 rushing touchdowns by Jalen Hurts. That's the most by an Eagles QB, if I'm not mistaken. And they were just a great game. Saints scored some points in garbage time, but it didn't matter the score. They still lost. And Eagles, you never know, they may sneak up on that division. They've got a really weak one. The Giants aren't looking good. Washington's also on the up, so you never know. If the Cowboys keep letting their guard down, and if they lose a few games, you never know. The Eagles or Washington could sneak back up there and become in that hunt for the NFC East title. Bengals and Raiders. The Bengals easily beat the Raiders in Las Vegas. And the Bengals played really good football this week. Joe Mixon was great. Joe Burrow was great. This team was just great all around, and they were able to easily win. It's that simple. The Raiders aren't that good. They do play the Cowboys next week in Dallas on Thanksgiving. But, man, this is not a good game for the Raiders. I know they've not been good since their drama-filled few weeks there in between like week 4 and week 7 or whatever. But this isn't good for them, and they need to start winning quick. They've lost 3 straight. The Bengals snapped their 2-game losing streak, and now the Bengals are 6-4 and the Raiders are 5-5. And both teams look like they're going in separate directions. Cowboys and Chiefs. Speaking of the Cowboys, they lost to the Chiefs. The Chiefs had a great first half, scoring 16 points or 13 points, if I'm not mistaken, in that first half. And the Cowboys didn't have a touchdown the entire game. Cowboys played a tough team, and they lost. So you never know. They may be a team that has a really weak schedule, so their record may be a little inflated because of that. And they play the Raiders next week, who are on the decline, so maybe the Raiders pull an upset, but I doubt it, and the Cowboys are probably going to win. But this was not a good game for them. They were awful. CeeDee Lamb got injured this game. Amari Cooper isn't vaccinated, so he was out with COVID this week, and they need to start winning. because if they can win with just Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, then maybe they can be proven as this team that needs to be beat. But again, they have really weak competition, so I'm gonna have to wait till they play the Cardinals later in the year. Cardinals and Seahawks. Oh boy, where do I start? We lose to Colt McCoy once again in Seattle. If you don't remember, and I didn't make my channel when this was happening, but last year when the Giants and the Seahawks played, the Seahawks were really, really good. They'd beaten every single NFC East team up until that point. And then the Jaguars roll into town with Colt McCoy as their starter. Daniel Jones wasn't playing. Saquon Barkley wasn't playing. I don't think Kenny Golladay wasn't even on the team at that time. This team was just awful. And their defense showed up, and Colt McCoy was able to methodically beat us. So think about that. We lost to Colt McCoy in 2020, and we lose to Colt McCoy again, this time by an even greater margin, 23-13, and our team was just awful. Russell Wilson wasn't great. It's showing that he may have rushed from that injury a little too quick. Couldn't get his ball to his receivers, DK and Tyler. They couldn't get the ball. Chris Carson is out with a neck injury, had to get season-ending neck surgery. So Alex Collins was in there. Didn't play great this game. All around the offense was terrible. Their defense was able to stop that offense. And yes, they had Colt McCoy, but they were able to stop that offense somewhat. Zach Ertz had 2 touchdowns in the first half. All around a great game by the Cardinals. They were able to beat their division rival, the Seahawks. And Seahawks are 3-7. Cardinals are 9-2. Seahawks are looking like they're having a big problem, and maybe they need to start considering a different coach going into next season, because so far it is not looking good. And for the Cardinals, as long as they keep winning without Kyler, they're doing a good job. Sunday night game between the Steelers and the Chargers. This game was really fun to watch. I unfortunately did not get to watch it, but I saw the score. It was a big Chargers lead going into the fourth quarter for them. They were able to keep scoring touchdowns, and then Pittsburgh was like, hey, let me join in. And they scored 27 points in that fourth quarter and ended up tying and taking the lead 37-34 late in the fourth quarter. There was a bunch of turnovers by the Chargers that were on their special teams and by Justin Herbert, which ended up them choking their lead, and the Steelers then taking the lead late in the fourth quarter with about 4 minutes to go, 37-34. And then on that final drive for the Chargers, the Steelers decided that they're not going to play any defense, and they let Mike Williams score 50 yards. And on a blown coverage play, they scored a touchdown to make it 41-37. Great game so far. Then finally on the Steelers' final drive, Ben Roethlisberger does his old wet arm, old man type of stuff, throws 3 incompletions and 1 on 4th down and loses the game. So great game by the Chargers, able to get their offense back on track sort of. The defenses both didn't play very well, but it was a huge win for the Chargers. And the Steelers, they've played bad against teams that they should have won, like the Bears, Lions, and the Chargers. So, I don't know, it's getting a little nerve-wracking. Hopefully they can bounce back, but the Chargers, this is a huge win, and now they need to get their momentum back up because they need to start winning games. And finally, the Giants and the Buccaneers. The Giants get killed by the Bucs. That's all there is to say. Tom Brady was great. Chris Godwin was great. Mike Evans was great. All around a great game for them. And the Giants, not so much. It was a bad game for them, and they lost easily to the Bucs. And that's all there is to say. It was just an easy game for the Bucs, and they were able to win, and they finally get back on track. And yeah, that's all there is to say. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanksgiving weekend, or week really, because it's on a Thursday, is upon us. As I'm recording this, it'll be tomorrow. So yes, I'm recording this on a Wednesday, and yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch. It's 3 games, or yeah, 3 games. I almost thought there was 4, and it's going to be a bunch of fun to watch, and then Sunday games as well. So plenty of football action over the next few days, and can't wait to watch it. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you want, and I will see you in the next one. That's about it. See ya.